very important videos went live today about the upcoming patch for Rise of Kingdoms. One of them was in English, and I'll give you the highlights of what's in that video. But importantly, the other video was in Vietnamese, and that video had some other information not shared in the English version about iconic equipment, about the upcoming events where you can get some legendary commander sculptures and use your sovereign keys, even the PC version of Rise of Kingdoms. So stick around in this video for everything you need to know. Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and with the help of Greentree, we were able to translate the Vietnamese video contents to bring you important highlights about this upcoming patch. And of course, I'll cover the highlights from the English version as well. So let's jump right into the things that are coming up in this next patch. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the fact that the 7K gem event is freaking back, baby. So in about a week after the patch, the 7K gem event will show up. And the rewards are always amazing for this. So save 7,000 gems, and I'll give you more information about how to maximize your rewards in this event in an upcoming video. As you can imagine, however, a holiday celebrating bunnies is, of course, very much appreciated in my kingdom, 254. However, the next item here is the city theme from this event. So if you make your way to, I think, level 18 in that bunny bonanza, you can get a archer health city theme, and you will lose cavalry attack. That is actually a great archer city theme. And I get that cavalry are actually really hot right now, so losing cavalry attack maybe isn't the best thing in the world. However, getting health at the cost of attack is just generally very good. So this is a solid city theme. A+, very happy with this theme. The next thing I want to show you is the active skill of Scipio. It's looking pretty good. The new Scipio is going to be absolutely disgusting. And the active skill for Flavius, I mean, you don't want to get hit with these bears. It's going to do, I think, the most single target damage possibly of any active skill in the game, once you account for the damage over time as well. So yeah, he's going to be absolutely disgusting in the garrison. I don't think he's going to be amazing in the field, but the animation will definitely be hard to miss if you're battling against him in the field. Now, this is the thing you're probably more interested in anyways, and it's pictures of how the new iconic equipment system works. This is a very big deal. And now, let me explain this very briefly. The way that an iconic upgrade works on equipment is that it upgrades the base stats of your troops. This is important. It's not the same as the percent stat boost, which my understanding is that these are multipliers. These percentages are multipliers of the base stats. And you can see here, cavalry, base attack on this particular item. This is a weapon. It already gives attack. And I'll show you some pictures from the Vietnamese site where we can start to draw some conclusions about the different stat boosts you get for different item slots. I think you get kind of the same stat boost for specific item slots. So I think all weapons give base attack. All accessories give troop health, but I'll talk about that in just a little bit when I show you those pictures. The next thing I want to show you, however, is the fact that these attributes, these enhancements, they get stronger as you progress toward the Season of Conquest. Now, most people aren't going to have a lot of iconic equipment in KVK Season 1 and 2 or 3. For the most part, that's people who migrate, but I will show some information about how everybody is going to get some of these iconic crystals to do the upgrade. It costs you an iconic crystal and 20 million gold, and you don't get the iconic crystal back if you dismantle the item. So you got to be really sure when you put in the iconic crystal. I mean, it's basically a piece you're never going to get rid of at that point. Now, unfortunately for the Trial of the Lost Kingdom, which is an item that you can get from a VIP purchase, all other legendary equipment can be made iconic. What a bummer, man. That Trial of the Lost Kingdom, like, it's not the worst, but like also a Talented Heart of the Saint, which is epic, is better than that legendary item. Iconic equipment confers extra buffs to the unit's base attributes. Units' base attributes are health, and attack, and defense. Check the troop training screen for more details. I will show that to you in just a minute. Iconic attributes will automatically change, depending on which Season of Lost Kingdom your kingdom is in. These changes are grouped into KVK Seasons 1 and 2, Season 3, and into the Season of Conquest. When entering a new season or migrating into another season, iconic attributes will automatically upgrade. Tap the equipment screen for details about seasonal attributes. After being refined, equipment gains a special talent, and its iconic attribute is increased as well. So special talent legendaries are looking better than ever. And you must spend iconic crystal or gold. This is and gold to create iconic equipment. It is both of those things. If you could do just gold, I mean, that's my game plan, is to just spend the gold and make all my equipment iconic right out of the gates, but that's not probably how it's going to work. Or if it is going to work that way, God, I imagine that's a prohibitive gold cost. And unlike the account where this picture was taken, which is a test server, you know, because they have 9.9 billion gold, I do not have that kind of gold. Iconic crystals will be available in the Lost Canyon. I believe there's one per season that you can get. The Artisan's Forge, however, is an event that's going to show up. Maybe it comes periodically, and is an event where you can get 2 of these iconic crystals. This is really important. There are a series of quests that you get done, and then those give you hammers. The hammers you trade in at a shop, and then the shop, I'll show you a picture of right over here. You can see there are 2 iconic crystals available here. Maybe they started with more and they've already claimed some. I imagine they haven't claimed any, however. There's also going to be some epic material crates, so maybe we can get some iconic crystals and material crates. That will be kind of nice. And if I just scroll back to the previous page, the way the event works is that you complete quests to gain huge rewards. All quests on the list will be reset every single day. So please remember to claim your rewards and complete quests to gain a special item, the Artisan's Hammer, which will be exchanged for rewards in the event shop. So in case you were wondering, like, why are these stats so important? If you look inside any one of your training buildings and you tap the info button on the left-hand side by all the different troop types, it will show you the base stats of your units. This is very important. The iconic items are boosting these base stats, which should have a larger effect on the sort of final outcome, I think, of how effective you are in combat than you would get from just the normal percent stat boosts and modifiers that you see on equipment. I think. I'm going to have to actually play with it once it's in game and see how it's actually working, and then I'll tell you from that point exactly what we are seeing in game for how much it enhances your equipment compared to other things. But I also want to sort of point out that we're looking at 3 base points per item that you put an iconic crystal onto. And if you have special talents, that becomes 4 base points per item. So that gives us 8 items that we can work with, your armor and 2 accessories, which gives you a grand total of 32 bonus base points. But how good is that anyways? If you go into your civilizations, we can start to get a sense of how good this is, these base point enhancements here. And if we get a look at, let's say, I don't know, let's pick Vikings, because that's very popular. And we picked switch, okay? Before you switch, it's going to give you this screen, and it shows you that the special unit for the Vikings have a small amount of extra base stat points. They have a grand total of 10 more base stat points. Now, I made a dedicated video about all the special units and which ones are the best and why. A card will be up in the top, so you can check that out at your convenience. However, it is very important to mention that the base stat point that is getting the most boost, I think, is going to be health. I'll show you why when I get to the Vietnamese portion of the video. But also, the 32 base points is a big deal. Why is that a big deal? You get about 10 points from just the special unit. And if you've seen my video where I tested out just how good it can be, if you focus all in on one civilization and you use the special unit and you have the city theme and also the civilization gives some extra stat points for that unit. As you can see down here, you're getting the extra infantry attack. I mean, you can sway a trade by about 3,000 to 5,000 sev wounds in your favor, which is a big deal. And I mentioned that because, okay, that's including a city theme and these extra stats over here. We're talking about just 30 base points, but 30 base points could actually be a pretty meaningful thing. Maybe not as critical or noticeable in a big open field brawl where it's just complete chaos anyways, but it's definitely noticeable in a rally or garrison situation and matters a lot more when those troops are living or dying. So how much of a power level boost is this exactly for how effective your commanders are going to be? I can't say for certain until we actually observe how it works in game, but I do think that if you are a rally lead or garrison captain, your goal should be to make one really good set, starting with your accessories, because the accessories boost all troop types. So if you rally or garrison with multiple troop types, then at least, even if you have a talent for infantry on the item, let's say, and you're going to use it on an archer commander, you still get the 3 base stat points. You just don't get the benefit of the special talent. And for players that are mostly open fielding, I still feel like accessories are a pretty good choice, unless you have like a talented legendary in some other slot. And the way that most people should be building their equipment when they work on their sets here is to actually start by having a set that maybe looks sort of like this over here, where you've got a bunch of epic armor, and then you bring in these extremely powerful legendary accessories. And the reason why that is often the best way to do your upgrades is that the legendary accessories just make a massive swing in how effective you are in combat, whereas like the armor is just, I mean, it may not actually even give you more stat points if you don't get a special talent. So I think that for most people, the game plan will be probably dropping the iconic crystals into some accessories if you have some. And if not, I mean, it looks like you could get a grand total of 3 of these things pretty quickly. And if there's no bundle for it, I just feel like having something that's very flexible, if you change your mind on what troop type you care about, putting it on the accessories is probably a pretty good choice. The only downside to that is that when you do eventually go to get a special talent, I mean, talenting legendary accessories is extremely difficult compared to talenting armor. So I guess if you knew exactly that you were going all in on one troop type and just going to stick with it, then maybe you'd go for the armor instead, because you knew in that instance you could get the talent. Now, as I promised, the Vietnamese version of the patch notes and the video explaining them had some additional information. One of the things that I noticed is a little bit of a pattern, perhaps, that it looks like legs are giving health base stat, and it looks like weapons are giving attack base stat. Helmets are giving defense base stat points. And you can see that on multiple helmets. We have defense-based stat points here. Chest pieces are giving defense-based stat points. Gloves are giving attack-based stat points. And boots are giving health-based stat points. So it looks like, because we all know that health is such a powerful stat compared to other ones, card up in the top if you haven't checked out that video, watch it at the end of this one. You want to probably be boosting legs and boots, I would think, for extra health. Also, by the way, accessories give all troop types base stat points for health. So this is giving cavalry base stat points for health, whereas obviously, because accessories could be used on it, really, like any troop type here, they give all troop types the base stat points. And that, by the way, for a mixed garrison especially, is going to be very important to start with the items that are boosting base stat points for all troop types. So if what you care about is defending your city, like on my absolutely insane farm, for example, where I have a lucky coin forged, I'm absolutely going to put the iconic crystal item onto my lucky coin, and that's boosting the base stat points for all troop types, which is just insane for city defense. Here's another helmet, and this, by the way, is what really clued me in to the fact that I think these upgrades are sort of based on what slot it goes into rather than what stats are already on it. Because this is an archer helmet, and I said helmets give defense, and you can see here, this blue color is showing you that you're getting archer defense, even though the helmet itself gives attack stat. I don't think that matters. What matters is what slot you're actually putting the item in, and that's what the iconic crystal will boost. Now, in the English version, they pointed out that they're going to do a night version of Echo Canyon. If you're into Champions of Olympia, that's kind of a big deal. And also, I had mentioned before that there is this city theme for a new event that gives 5% cav attack and you lose 5% archer defense. This is something that new players get access to, but the old event is going away, and I think this is now the new event that replaces it, the Glory of Battle, to get this city theme. So there's a new event now for brand new players to get the city theme, so if you're starting in a new kingdom, look out for this. I promised you there were a few other extras in the Vietnamese version, and here's one of them. I hypothesized that there would be an extra slider in the Protect the Supplies event, and that is now the case. There also is a new progress bar you can check out for how your Protect the Supplies is going. I don't actually know how you could take the time to go look at this when you're in the middle of actually playing Protect the Supplies, but it is kind of a cool status indicator showing how far along you are. And it looks like the reward this time around, when this does show up in about a week and a half maybe, is going to be gold heads. So if you do get first place, that's 20 legendary commander sculptures, kind of nice. I do think that the new version is going to be very hard to do on the maximum number of star levels. And if you're not in KVK, where there is crystal technology, then the playing field's a bit more level for you to do well there. So good luck, everybody. The last two things I wanted to show you were some pictures from the new event where you get to use sovereign keys. And it looks like you get to pick some number of commanders that are going to show up in your draws when you use your sovereign keys, which is a pretty big deal. This, as I recall, shows up at the same time as the Legendary Tavern, which also uses sovereign keys. For those of you that are not yet in KVK Season 4 and beyond, which is the Season of Conquest, that is when you would start to see this event. And what I also found very interesting is for a commander you have maxed, it looks like you get a sovereign key back. So you may be wondering, why is it that you would even pick a commander where you have them maxed already? I think that's what's happening here, right? I'm just guessing because this is a test account and they probably have every commander maxed. And what I wasn't so sure about in the translation is that perhaps you have to pick all cavalry commanders and you have to pick 5 of them, or all infantry commanders and you have to pick 5 of them. It wasn't entirely clear to me exactly how that works. So if you have a better sense of how that translates, definitely let me know down below in the comments if you watch the Vietnamese version. My impression is that you might actually need to pick like all infantry or all cavalry or all archers or all leadership commanders, but I don't know for sure. And either way, at least you would be getting sovereign keys back if you have that commander maxed. Otherwise, again, I don't know why you would pick them. Just pick something else. I mean, I guess for the few people that want to do as many draws as possible, but only want 1 or 2 commanders, you could do that and then get more sovereign keys by having chosen commanders you've already maxed and then go back and spend them again. Final thing I wanted to talk about was the PC version, which, if we understood this correctly, it sounded like they were announcing that the PC version might be coming live very shortly after this patch, but not in Vietnam yet, because there was a licensing issue, which I think is a part of the reason they were talking about it, but I'm honestly not sure. Again, leave a comment down below if you're able to translate that and make sure that we got that right. It would be pretty freaking cool if the PC version was going live for everybody very soon. And if you enjoyed the video, throw a like on here, consider subscribing. If you're looking for more information about any of those topics I was describing earlier, the cards will be up in the top, including why health is one of the best stats in the game, which is important for everybody to understand. Or if you just want to see my testing showing how good it is to move all in on one unit type, that video is there as well. And until next time, you have fun smashing your enemies.